welcome back to Comic Book Wednesdays, a weekly series where we talk about comic books. We're your hosts, I'm Ian.
I'm Al.
And I'm Shane.
Remember to follow us, like, and do all that stupid social media shit. This week we are continuing our Star Wars talk, finishing Dark Force Dark Force Rising, right?
Yes.
Dark
Yes.
Force
Dark Force
Rising.
Rising.
Yes. There's the issues 4 through 6. And guys, I am so happy it's done. And it's
Honestly,
not,
I liked it.
I'm glad you like it. It's just that I can compare it to the book. And I already didn't love this book. I liked the book, but I didn't love it.
See, I haven't read the book in a long time, so I'm enjoying it as a brief makeup for it, but from remembering all three of these books, it does not do justice.
It doesn't. And there's a couple moments that I wanted to talk about. So essentially, so the Nagori people, they basically owe blood oath to Darth Vader, and they have that spread to Leia as being the daughter of Vader, and that shit's really cool in the book, and they go into a lot of detail. And at one point, she needs to, and we see this in this issue, she has to convince the people of their planet that the Empire has been poisoning them for ages, and she's got her argument, and she's got to make a trip to this tribal council, and they're basically the leaders of all the tribes that come together, and they have all this power, and she's putting herself at risk here, and they make it a big deal, and it's almost like this pilgrimage. She goes from village to village, collecting the people of the Nagori, and they form this huge caravan. And it's this big, strong moment for Leia to go in front of this council and talk to them. And they more or less gloss over this whole, pilgrimage she has to the capital. And
Yeah, it's just kind of like, and we're gonna go talk to people, and we're here.
we're here, and we're talking, and that's it.
Oh yeah, and this droid has poison juice in it, so
And it was
congratulations.
In the novelization, you have there's a lot of this internal strife. Like she's really nervous, and she's dealing with all this internal stress that doesn't get conveyed at all. And that, to me, it was very poorly done. And the other part that I wanted to talk about that I thought was also really, really poorly done was the underwater ship that Lando and Han are on to find the captain of the Katana fleet. Right? Maybe he's not the captain of the Katana fleet, but he knows where it is.
Yeah.
And
You're talking about the
the ship captain, maybe? I don't know.
No, he was like a thief, wasn't he?
Okay, so yeah, he was, but he was on the ship, and he knew where the Katana fleet was.
Well, actually, he really didn't, but that's a different topic.
Okay, I'm just.
But go ahead. Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying. They go onto this ship, and there's a whole segment there, and they feel like their lives are at risk, and you're basically they're in a gunfight, and they're like, okay, let's get out of here, and then next thing you know, they're back on Coruscant or wherever they are.
Yeah, that was shitty. I'd agree.
So.
But so we know you don't like a lot of it. Was there anything that you did enjoy from the books?
From this as a whole, I really love the progression of Mara Jade's character in Dark Force Rising, because she really starts the book off like Luke Skywalker must die, to the end where not only does she have the chance to kill him, but she saves him, and then they work hand in hand, and then by the end of it, Luke saves her, which they glossed over again. You don't really see that happening in the graphic.
I really enjoyed the Emperor in her thoughts. So I guess you can say, she imagining him over top of her and talking to her and all the guilt that she's feeling, and it was a pretty cool moment. I felt like, um,
Yeah, where she's like, "You must kill Skywalker," and then
yeah,
her thought bubbles is basically, like, "I'm trying."
yeah, and it's you failed me again. It was a pretty cool at the end of the book. It was a pretty cool moment, and again, not done the way it should have been done, but it was nice to see it this way because of not reading it in so long. So it was interesting for me.
Like, visually, I think that the comic is cool. The last one wasn't too great visually, but this one is hitting its marks.
Yeah.
And I feel like I talked a lot, and Shane, this is all new to you, and you said you liked it, so I want to hear what you have to say.
Sure. No problem. So issues 1 through 3, I'm going to stick to that for just a quick second, just to preface. I didn't like 1 through 3. I thought it was very dry. Like we've already gone over that. 4, 5, and 6 kind of picked up a little bit for me. Where you're correct. The pacing is god awful. Where it's like you said, 1 minute it's okay, we're doing this. All right, we're gonna go do this thing now, and it's just immediate flash cut to whatever the hell they're doing. However, I did feel like the lore, like the stuff with Mara Jade, I really thought it was fascinating seeing the Ghost of the Emperor, because as somebody who hasn't read the book, I saw that as like is he reaching out to her? Is this her own guilt and her own like self-sabotage setting into her mind? Like I really enjoyed the way they did that, and the art that they depicted in that page I thought was really cool looking. I did like that a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I had, excuse me, highlighted was, let me pull it up here. Mara Jade's face when Thrawn's like, "You carried out the Emperor's will no more, whether you heard his commands more clearly than the rest of his hands." And she's like, "What do you mean the rest of his hands? You're wrong." Like,
Oh yeah, that blew her mind, dude.
yeah. And he just glossed over it like, "Yes, I can tell that you're weaker than me. Get over yourself."
Yeah, and also, like, in the book, there's more of a conversation about that. Like, you see her surprised, and she's like, "What do you mean?" And, like, there is actually, like, more to it. Like, she goes back and forth, and there's some internal struggle with that also.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought that was fascinating because it really, that image, yeah, I felt like the images in these last 3 sets were more powerful. Really using the art to highlight the characters' emotions and what they were connected to. So like watching her face when Thrawn said that, and just watching how like you said, it just blew her mind. But also going over like seeing the Emperor's ghost in this in the same set of issues, where we see that she's tying her self-worth to the Empire still, but then also fighting herself to save Luke, and it's very much showing this like internal struggle, which like I also like when we go back and look at how Luke was dealing with that Jedi Master, and that whole entire scene there where they fought that Master and he used Force lightning and they blocked it, and Luke was like, well, no, not everybody is lost to the dark side, and Mara's like, no, 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 he is. If you don't kill him, it's gonna bite us in the ass.
Yeah.
And I really value that from her, watching her internal struggle, being able to recognize in somebody else, like, no, yeah, no, don't worry about him, he's gone.
Right. I agree with you.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
And you know what the
Agreed.
best thing about Mara is in this trilogy? That continues. Like, she has such a great arc over the course of all three books. Um,
And
and
future books. Like, she is an amazing character. 100%. Like, if there's any character that you should really do some research on, she is the one of the three characters that I would say, yes, read as much on her as you can.
I only have
Yeah.
read this trilogy with her in it, and I can already tell you that I absolutely agree with Alex. Like, I would love to see like more of her, so I'll have to pick up more books. And she's one of those characters I'd be considered worried about if they ever tried to adapt her to film or TV.
Yeah, I don't want them to. I want them to leave her alone.
It's just, I don't think it'd be done well. Um, yeah. And, I think you'll be pleased with how her arc ends in this book. That internal struggle you're talking about, she really has to face that, and I hope they do it justice. Um, if they do it justice, you will be pleased. Um, and I can't recommend enough just reading the books. If you ever get a chance to listen to the audiobooks or read them, like Disney did put out some really pretty copies in a book set. There's a trilogy set you can buy if you wanted to get the novels. Um, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Well, actually, no, I did. You mentioned that a little bit last time, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
okay.
like I'm beating a dead horse because I just love the books so much more.
No, not at all. I was just making sure I remembered you
That's a
correctly. That's
fair
all.
horse to beat. I would beat that horse as well.
The poor horse.
Poor horse.
Yeah, no. Get the fucking bats out and beat the shit out of it.
So, Alex, is this your favorite book of the trilogy?
Uh, no, I would say probably the last book is my favorite. I like all of them, you know, they're all really good books in my opinion. But probably the last one is my favorite. But again, that's reading it. I don't even remember how long ago
That's
I read
fair.
these books.
Absolutely.
Like,
fair.
it's just like so long ago I read these books.
Well, then let me then change that question because I was gonna segue into them. What is your favorite part of this book?
Favorite part of this book. I really enjoyed Leia's interaction with the Naragi, but I also really enjoy the information you get on Talon. He's a really cool character, and to see him kind of get shaped towards the rebellion is really kind of cool.
Yeah, he almost feels like another Han Solo, a smuggler that finds himself in a place where he can do good and he makes the
Yeah.
right decisions.
He has a lot of different that comes with him as far as a comparison to Solo, but he is a very cool character as well, and
Yeah.
definitely worth reading some more stuff on him as well.
Yeah, you do learn more about him in the Last Command. They go into a little bit more detail. You see his like inner workings and how he interacts with other smugglers.
Yeah.
Um,
Excuse me.
bless you. Um, I think for me, like all the Leia stuff in this book was really good, and I think my favorite stuff, other than Mara Jade, um, it's definitely the female characters that carry this book. Um, at least in my opinion. And I just
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I'm gonna agree with that.
the Luke gets
Well,
his time in the sun at the end of the next one. Like
and what's crazy is, like I did want to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Like the characters that come out of this book, a lot of the female characters are amazing, strong female characters. And that was Disney's whole problem is, oh, there's no strong female characters. Get out of here. Read any of what's going on in any of the Legends material, and it's chock full of strong female characters.
oh yeah, I mean even as you continue down the line, I mean, when Leia gives birth to her children, she has a set of twins, and
One of my favorite characters,
yeah, what's her name? I forget her name.
Jaina.
Jaina. Yeah, she's supposedly a badass. Like,
Complete.
yeah.
Like 100% badass.
So I mean, you have Jaina, you have Mara, you have Leia, and then you can even go a step further. There are some side characters in this book that are is a complete badass. Like the girl that protects the general. I forget her
Yeah,
name at
I
this
forget her
point.
name too.
She is a small character, but she straight up says like, if you threaten us in any way or you betray us, I'm just gonna straight
I'll
up murder
kill you
you.
with my own hands.
I'll kill you with my own. Yeah, that's the line. I'll kill you
Yeah.
with my own hands. Badass. So many strong female characters in this book, and I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Speaking of Leia, can I talk about something real quick?
Sure
absolutely.
can.
The image of Leia when the lightsaber ignites, and she's just standing there, not even touching it, and I think she says the line of something to the effect of, "I also inherited his power," and like the saber ignites in that frame.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
Badass. Perfect. Yeah, she's like not holding it, and like just
Well, she had to show how strong she was in the Force, and prove that she has the same courage and strength that Vader did. Like, I mean, she
While
had
she's
to
got her
impress
hand
this
on her
primitive
belly.
people. You know.
Yeah, and also like strong mother figure because she's got her hand on her belly while she's pregnant and being and the entire thing is being like, you're gonna let your children die over this, and the Empire did you wrong and all this other kind of shit.
Yeah.
right.
So no, sorry to interrupt. That was just, I saw that and I was like, wow, that is phenomenal
No, I don't think
imagery.
you're interrupting.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that was perfect. I'm look. I'm overall. I do like this book. I don't think it's as good as the other two, and I think I don't want to slander it. It's just kind of like how I feel about it, and I'm not trying to slander it. I don't want to give the wrong impression because it is a good book. Um, is this adaptation better than the Heir of the Empire? Absolutely. Heir of the Empire's graphic novel was terrible in
Yeah, it
so
was
many
pretty bad.
ways. I mean, even down to the art, they couldn't even get Luke's lightsaber color right, which is fundamentally something that you can just have when you think of different Star Wars characters. You think of their lightsaber, like and the
hmm
color lightsaber that they have, and everyone knows that Luke gets a green one after his hand gets cut off in the most iconic scene of all Star Wars. So to have that wrong just doesn't make any sense to me. Um,
Me either. God damn it. Yeah, no, it was pretty bad.
yeah. So then they
Not
fixed
gonna
that.
lie, there was one scene with Leia where she was like in her panties on Kashyyyk, where I was like, alright, I dig it.
They did. I know the scene you're talking about. Yeah, but oh, this this graphic novel, the art did get changed. I mean, the actors all the characters look like they're actors, which I thought was, if you're gonna have a graphic novel based on characters from a movie, you might as
Yep.
well have them drawn to look like their characters. Uh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. I, at this point, I'm like kind of repeating myself. So if anyone has something else to add, feel free to. At this point.
Yeah, I think that pretty much summed up those books, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think we're hitting the points pretty good. One last thing, I guess, that I wanted to ask you guys is, with that Jedi that kind of I'd say he's a dark Jedi at this point.
Sabath.
Yeah, thank you. His name continues to not click in my head for some reason. Um, how Mara was saying that he's going to come back and it's going to kind of like bite them in the ass as they're leaving him alive.
Mm.
we did see that at the end of this, and we have one more section of novels, or was that it?
No, one more.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna save my question for when we start reading again because I think it's gonna answer it on its own.
Yeah, I think it might.
Yeah, and I just one thing to end with. It didn't talk about clones. We learned
Clones.
Clones.
Mount
Gotta love Star
Tantus
Wars and clones.
has clones in it. So eventually, if you start watching like the animated stuff more, Shane, you will watch the Bad Batch, and then you'll start to see how they're adapting some of this storyline into Star Wars, because
Okay.
it really starts there. It starts okay. So I'm gonna do something Al hates. It starts in the sequel trilogy because somehow Palpatine returned, and now they have to figure out, well, how are we going to make that work? So then you go through the Mandalorian and you start realizing that a lot of the Mandalorian's plot has to do with making that work, and then
Grumble, grumble, grumble. I
and then
hate Disney.
you get more backstory in the Bad Batch on that, and you get we'll probably get a little bit more of it towards the end of Ahsoka, and then they're gonna do an Heir to the Empire movie, which is coming out in like 2 years.
Not
Or
gonna
something
be what the books are.
No, absolutely not. They're just borrowing the name, but I
Yes.
guarantee you it's gonna evolve. It's gonna revolve around that clone story. So.
Yes.
Okay.
I
All right,
as
so
well
basically I
guarantee
got plenty of time to catch up.
Absolutely, and it's all the cartoon stuff are like 22-minute episodes, so you can
that. Oh
sit
yeah,
through that.
it's quick stuff.
Yeah, good
Well worth
stuff.
a watch too, in my opinion.
Absolutely, like all the animated Star Wars stuff is fantastic. Um, especially Rebels. Rebels is my favorite. But yeah, I mean, so next we're going to read The Last Command. We have issues 1 through 3 to start. We'll do that next week. Um, and then after that, we'll finish off with 4 through 6. And that'll be the end of our Thrawn trilogy.
And
It's
it
going
will.
quick, guys.
Yeah.
Al, any last words? This is your pick.
I wish it was better, but I'm still enjoying it.
Well, on that note, thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate y'all. And we're your hosts. I'm Ian.
I'm Al.
And I'm Shane.
That was Comic Book Wednesdays. Good night, everybody.
Good night.